now without any challenges. Fingers crossed. Anyway, avoid looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Yeah, so this idea of not seeing something for what it really is, not seeing people for what they really are, who they really are. Let's pull a tarot card. I already was seeing the star card in my mind's eye. Right, but let's see. Because there's a potential for destruction here. There's a potential to go backwards, a potential for pain. Okay. Temptation. What do you want to say about that? High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, which is representing your internal knowing. Okay. Your intuition. That sense of knowing without hard pressed evidence. And maybe it feels like anxiety, right? But is it a lack of trust in oneself? Is it a fear of not belonging or being accepted by other people, by the world at large? The High Priestess is not afraid to sit in silence with herself. It's a feminine energy. Not afraid to sit in silence with herself and connect, even to the things that feel tempting, but not to be tempted by them, to better understand them. To connect to that inner knowing and make the decision that feels like yours. All right, we got the Ten of Cups. I had to restart the live, you guys. I don't know what happened. Life happened. Mercury retrograde happened. Hi, Jessica. That is what happened. The universe happened, child. It was necessary for some reason. I believe that. All right, Ten of Cups. Page of Cups. Yeah. And the Two of Swords. Super relevant energy here, especially with that High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, because this tells me that you have an idea of what could create fulfillment, happiness, joy, a sense of gratitude, family, community. But someone's ignoring it, avoiding it, afraid to face that truth, afraid to truly connect to what their intuition is guiding them towards. There's fear. It's fear. I just heard fear monger. Again, really calling attention to what you believe. You know, you cannot believe everything that you read, see, or hear. And maybe that's the source of the anxiety. Because the Page of Cups is innocent. It's an innocent curiosity that doesn't care what other people think, what other people are doing, what other people are saying. It's just like a very innocent, my heart feels kind of thing. This isn't an energy of someone who has hard evidence or who even has experience. It's just someone who is willing to explore based upon what their inner knowing is being pulled towards. Lots of Pisces energy. Also have Libra here. I think the moon's probably still in Libra as I'm recording this. Moving into Scorpio probably later in the day. Okay, so this is a reminder, a true reminder, especially with the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is literally our dreams. And so it's a reminder to face the facts, right? To not get into a place of delusion because we're so focused on the dream that we've dreamt up. Maybe that dream that we've dreamt up is not what's best for us. Maybe at one point it was, and now it's not practical. But the High Priestess and the Magician is right behind it. Look at that. And the Devil. And the Justice card. Okay. There's a really significant relationship decision here that we're talking about. And it's important first to connect with your intuition. Because the High Priestess represents that duality of being in this earthly plane and also being connected to other realms where information's not as clear. It doesn't come in the form of words always. It doesn't come in the form of clear messages and symbols. We have to unpack it and use our discernment. And other things can make that much more cloudy. I forget what I was getting ready to say. Again, getting caught up in the comments. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jaws. Oh, my Lanta. All right, friends. Shall we move on to our journal prompt? What say you? What say you? Really drawn to this Page of Cups. In one of my decks, the Page of Cups is it's specifically an androgynous image, character, whatever you want to call it. And again, it's representative of someone just like going their own way, regardless of what other people think. If it's such an innocence that you don't even think that far ahead to how other people will see you or judge you, which is a difficult thing to do when you've had negative experiences, especially, and especially if they were in childhood, especially if they do relate to having a partnership, having a romantic relationship, having any kind of relationship, right, that branches off of that, or just building a community of people who you trust and, where there's mutual love and support and gratitude. When we have foundations that teach us otherwise, that our innocence is not to be protected, but to be shunned or shamed, that our truest intuitive thoughts and feelings are to be dismissed for the hierarchy of somebody else's. Oh, gosh, don't get me to going. Don't get me to going. I'm such an advocate for children's wellness and specifically the respect of children. We all still have an inner child within us, right? That's what I believe anyway. But I hate the idea that when people, an adult figure in particular, or a parental figure, doesn't allow for a child to communicate their thoughts, communicate their intuitive knowings, their feelings, their perspective on a particular situation, whether it's to understand or just simply to have a voice, right? there's still power in that childlike voice, even now as you are an adult. Whether you're in your, I don't know why I'm getting like somebody in their 70s, so that's interesting. Or maybe you were born in the 70s. I was not, so I can't really get into that particular decade and what was occurring, but maybe something specific was different about back then related to what I'm talking about in particular. Um, yeah. Okay. 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 Did you see that? All right, friends. Let's move to our journal prompt and see what's up. Something about a workshop. Maybe you're working on something or you work in a workshop. Seeing the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is representative of being disciplined and in such a way that your focus is sort of tunnel vision because you're prioritizing growing something that is meaningful to you. You can't really be, I'm hearing obsessed with the outside noise because the outside noise will just serve as a distraction. Very important message. I feel that strongly. Very strongly. Okay. So whatever it is that you're focusing on or whatever it is that you're trying to build, that was a weird way to say that word. Whatever it is that you're trying to build, um, just remember, well, why you're building it in the first place, but remember that your voice is what's most important, your priorities, and focus in on that. You know, you've already created so much to this point. Remember how you created that much. That was your investment. That was your time, your resources. And so continue to prioritize you in that space. And maybe this is a relationship that you're working on. Maybe it's a specific workshop even that may be helpful for you or helpful for the relationship itself to grow and to learn particular skills. Okay. Child. I was having some trouble spelling opinion. It's one of those words. My brain is just like, why are there so many I's and O's and N's? Just get to it already. All right. As always, I invite you to share your journal prompts in the comments, or your thoughts, okay, your opinions. I'm always down for a new perspective that helps me to grow or helps the community on the channel to grow. The journal prompt I have for today's session 48: is this relationship what my inner child would have dreamt, or what external opinions desire for my life? And this prompt may not be for you. This session may not be for you in its totality. But to some degree, it allows for us to, again, connect deeper with our inner child, with our sense of self, with that sense of innocence that's embedded in our intuition, that really helps us to live a more fulfilling life. Thanks so much for being here. I hope that something here supported your spirit. Definitely supported mine. Yeah, I mean, I leave you with that journal prompt, but also a life prompt of maybe giving yourself 5 minutes today. Set a 5-minute timer. Connect with yourself. If nothing else, simply connect with your breath. Keep your attention on the breath in and the breath out. And when your mind sways, gently and with self-compassion, bring it on back to the breath. It's just practice, right? But powerful practice, nonetheless. I wish I could show you guys the inside of this candle. So I'm not gonna put it out because I want to take a picture of it. But anyway, thanks for being here. Hi, habitually nobody. Thanks for joining. I'm excited for the rest of the day. Sending you guys love and peace. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate the energetic reciprocity, whatever that looks like for you. It fills me up. It pours back into me so I can pour back into you. It keeps me motivated to be here. But it's time for us to go. We must say goodbye. Take care of yourself today, and I'll see you next time.